we at the Kellogg Foundation, I think, had some very special opportunities because our board had unequivocally said they wanted us to strive to be the most effective anti-racist organization we could be. Well, that's nice to say that, and that really gives the foundation an authorizing environment to pursue that. But what are the skills and tools and experiences and behaviors you need to practice to actually become or strive to become that?
The moment I knew that we were serious about this was when Sterling changed his vacation in order to make sure he could attend this session. And we then had a conversation as a group that each person would get one pass, one session that they couldn't attend for some reason, but otherwise that our group expectation is that everyone would attend every session. And we did a really good job at that. And it was that made it very powerful.
Part of the reason why we wanted to really engage in this particular program was because it held some promise of being cascaded throughout the rest of our organization. So I felt like we were there as researchers or participating in a pilot, and if it turned out to be successful and actually improve learning, that we would then bring it back to the organization and actually cascade it through the rest of the foundation. Turned out that was the case. The work that they provided around the IDI tool, the Intercultural Developmental Inventory tool, I think that's the IDI, is proven to be very beneficial for us internally as a way of helping people understand themselves, where they are in their learning, what some really specific goals or targets could be for how you can progress in the future. And it has actually turned out that our organization has grown by participating in this program.
I think the basic construct of the IDI, which is you want to do stage appropriate things for people depending on where they are behaviorally. And I think one of the big ahas for me was how we seem to be stuck on the notion that if we just build awareness in people, that there are differences, that there are cultural differences and racial and ethnic differences. And yes, we are all humans and one humanity, but we're very different in how we see the world and how we've experienced the world.
The two things going on simultaneously that made it very effective for me. One was the cohort of people. So the group that I was in was very committed to the topic. They were showing up. We were working together on our assignment, as is in the curriculum design, and so it allowed me to build much stronger relationships with a group of folks in the foundation and really develop common, just some strength around that topic, around the issue, which can get pretty hairy. Race and inclusion issues. So that was a fabulous part of the program for me, was the cohort itself. The curriculum, I hadn't had much curriculum exposure to this kind of curriculum, and so I was intrigued by the IDI and really fascinated by my personal score and it was just really hard to imagine that there was an instrument like this that could accurately judge both your aspirations on the topic as well as your current place that you were operating from. So, and then to do that as an organization has been really powerful.
I found it really valuable because the project that we took on was something that was really needed in the organization, and it gave us a way to plan together. And again, these were 6 people in the organization who don't typically work together day to day. And so it gave us time together, and we also worked on something that was relevant, and the communication that came out of it based on the project that we chose advanced the work in the organization. So I like the fact that it was seated in real work, and it wasn't just theory that you were going off to do separately, that you had to figure out how to integrate back into your day-to-day work. In some ways, this was doing both the work the day-to-day work that we had and using that as a way to think about our current work.
Here's an organization that's committed to racial equity and committed to diversity and inclusion and equity in many forms, but unless you keep working at, am I getting good at it? Am I getting better at it? And I think the PALN gave us the IDI. It gave us, you know, 2 and probably now 3 cohorts of people that have been through this experience. And I think it refreshes and stimulates the organization, you know, with new vocabulary, new insights. And I think you know, it's almost like every few years an organization has to have a new stimulant to its ongoing work. In the book Built to Last, Jerry Porce and Jim Collins wrote that great companies are characterized by this sort of yin-yang, that on one side they have this profound sense of their core values, and that never changes, and that's unshakable. And then regularly on the other side of that yin-yang is trying those big, hairy, audacious goals, or saying we're gonna go for something big. And I think PALN was like, okay, we believe in racial equity and we believe in diversity and inclusion. What are we doing to realize that? Let's try the PALN. And then to realize, wow, we didn't say we're going to transform the organization. We didn't call it a big, hairy, audacious goal. We just said this puts our money where our mouth is. This says this is a core value. How do we actualize it?